Hello, welcome back to Disco Elysium. It's me, aproustian, and I am avoiding confronting Ruby because there was still side stuff I wanted to do. And as a matter of fact, this is actually my second time running backwards through here, and doing stuff in the game because I was halfway through recording an episode when the power went out. So they're doing like construction on a nearby intersection, and we think that kicked out our power. So I'm going to redo what I remember. I've started from the previous save again, and I think the main things, there were a couple main things I had done. I don't need my flashlight, so there we go. I had talked to the guy with the shop, not the pawn shop, the guy like on the sidewalk, although I did talk to the pawn shop guy, because one of the things I had done a lot of was start going around and talking to people to see who I could get a signature from in order to mail that thing to Everard. Because that's my only lead on... I don't know, that's just green details. It's my only lead on getting my gun back, and I would like to get the gun back. So I need to figure that out still. But yeah, I had come and I had talked to this guy and convinced him to invest money in me. So I am going to do a quick save here because I am going to save scum. Last time I got it on the first try. It's a rhetoric thing. So I think there was maybe some clothes I was able to find, like a shirt that gave me +1 rhetoric. There it is. And yeah, I would like this guy to invest in me again.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police force?
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
The man stops, his face suddenly serious. Think of it as an investment.
An investment? What kind of investment?
And I said this top one. It's an investment in me, a highly experimental human being. My risk-reward ratio is insane because I feel like that really does describe Harry very well.
I guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. How much are we talking about here?
And I said 10 real.
10 real is a bargain.
I did
for that
not
kind
go
of
in for
investment.
$1 million.
You got it, my man.
Alright. So the great thing about that is that gives me enough money that I can go talk to Kuno and buy those fallen pants from him. So that's next on the list. Okay. Hey Kuno. Hey Kuno. Hey Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care? Here, pig. We're fun now. Performance buddies.
Kuno unzips his jacket again and pulls the pants out of the plastic wrapping.
Kuno can already see you soaring through the air like a fucking eagle. Pig's in Kuno's debt now. Money debt?
He looks at you with pride.
Money debt doesn't mean anything. He's just saying words. You're not in his debt.
Alright. Sounds good.
Kuno
doesn't fucking care. Yeah, we know Kuno. Okay, so now I have new pants. Let's take a look at these. They're nice because they have a double buff, which I think is good. Yeah, entry-level fallen modular track pants, meant to get the urban athlete started down the fallen path. Labels say hydrophobic 100%, Cyman Tech, and Fallen Morova Lab, creating an air of pseudoscientific mystery around these pants. They feel rubbery and futuristic to touch. Excellent. I am a rubbery, futuristic man now. Okay, what else was actually productive? Oh yeah, I was looking at my list of things to do, and one of them was to ask about the armor.
Inside,
So
you
let's do
see a
that
set of
again.
steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
And the owner of the armored boots.
Yes. It took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready?
The lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand.
Shoot.
That suit of armor was issued to an Oranese citizen named Ellis Kortenaer. That's Ellis Kortenaer. Exact date of birth, unknown. He was signed into the Lelystad County Neonatal Care Unit on 28th of February, 09.
Neonatal care unit?
He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in the neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the East Brand Military Academy in Vredefort at 17, then served in the Oranese forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the Seminese conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did. And that's it. There are no records of his employment in Crenel, or any of its other incarnations, or him even entering Revachol.
Wait, he was found in a leaf compactor?
It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had, the only detail in these files. So I thought it would be good for you to know.
It is. Thank you, Alice.
Any information on the foster parents?
None, officer. Sorry.
All we have to connect him to Crenel is the armor.
Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. Thank you, Alice. Great work.
No problem, Lieutenant.
Alright, we have his name and service record now.
A name. This is very good. Ellis Kortenaer.
He says to himself.
I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Did you have any other questions? 57's over and out.
Her voice disappears into the void.
In the cabin, you see a set of...
Okay. So now we have a name, which we did not have before. And let me check these. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna wait to go into the Feld building because it says Union and Cryptozoology business might end when you do. As far as I know, I don't have any more cryptozoology business, but I definitely still have the Union business. And this is the primary one. Finding someone to sign the document instead of the intended signee. I really thought I would be able to sign it, like have Harry forge a signature, and I'm not sure where to find that option or how to... Is that just something I can interact with it? Maybe that's what I need to do, but now I'm thinking it said to do it when I was alone in my cabin. I thought I tried. Let me see. Is it here with the items? I'm not even sure where the, is it an interact thing? A handwritten note from the fridge. Right. The white envelope.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. The youth center
zoning
cuts
plan.
into the ocean like the bow of some great modern...
Yeah, I feel like I've looked at that. Okay. So it may be that it would let me sign it if I'm alone in my cabin. I'm not sure. I thought I had tried that and it didn't. I'm not sure. So my other plan is to keep asking around, but also, while I was asking around earlier, like I asked around kind of around the docks. I went through the Rolling and Rags and I asked around the docks and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I'm not going to do that again on camera. I was probably going to cut it anyways. But I did come talk to Annette again.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
She gives you a hat, almost exactly like the one Dick Mullen wears on the covers. Wait, where did you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
It's a fedora?
Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time. You'll look way more serious with that.
She grins with joy.
Right, I have to get back to my homework now, before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
She looks back at the infernal scribblings under her nose. Okay, bye. See you around, Annette. It's delightful. I like Annette. Okay, so I got this fedora. If anything, this wide-rimmed hat looks even better than the hat Dick Mullen wears. Dick Mullen is stupid and not even real. You're real. Your brain is real. Your real brain is inside the hat. At least it is when I wear it. Yeah, so that's a fun look. I think I'll stick with the communist hat for now, though. Especially if I go talk to my communist friends. Okay, I think that recaps everything I was able to accomplish before. So now... Oh, no, I know. There was one other... I was like, there was some other thing I did. Yeah, it was... I read the communist book that I need to read for my book club with the communists. Here it is. A brief look at Infra-Materialism. This one's a wild ride, you guys.
Features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Infra-Materialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. What an interesting color palette. It's vibrant, yet somehow leaves you ever so slightly nauseated. On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is Infra-Materialism? A highly theoretical branch of Mazovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both? This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner.
Okay. This feels like kid stuff. Is there no slightly longer glance TM? I love the brief look TM series.
The back of the book contains 4 or 5 pages of primary and secondary sources, but you need access to a university library to find most of them.
Okay.
In other words, this guide is the only source you're likely to find. You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and Mental Projection and Transference. There's also a brief introduction about the life of Ignace Nielsen.
Alright, let's read about Ignace Nielsen.
Known to his numerous admirers as the evangelist of the revolution, and to his even more numerous enemies as the apocalyptic Shrike, Ignace Nielsen remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures to emerge in the years of the anti-centennial revolution, second only to Krasmazov himself. During his unparalleled life, he helped guide a revolution in one country and found a new state in another. Along the way, he committed some of the most notorious war crimes in an era famed for its atrocities.
Yeah, like that's not great.
And yet, his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm, from which his followers and successors developed the school of communism known as Infra-Materialism.
Alright, let's read the first chapter.
If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain, right? Completely backwards. You think with your hands. Always have.
Last time I said this, I am more of a tactile guide. I let my fingers guide me. I'm a little bit curious now, though. I'll say honestly, I have no idea where some of these thoughts come from.
This sounds more like a question for a psychiatrist. See also a brief look at psychiatry. But let's stick with Ignis Nielsen a moment.
Okay, your thoughts mildly make fun of you if you choose the other version, too.
As
Okay.
Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician, Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But his interests and speculations were famously wide-ranging.
Okay.
During his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy.
It is very wide-ranging.
A true man of ideas, equal to any of the great DeLorean polymaths. But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm.
Yeah, like, what? The first time I was like, wait a minute, what? So can you put that in slightly more basic terms?
Certainly, in essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, they radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm.
It's really interesting. I like that phrase, highly politicized energy, because you'd almost expect it to be waves of highly polarized. I mean, energy isn't polarized, but light can be polarized. And it almost sounds like they're playing on like these real terms and real ideas, but then applying it to politics and political science in a way that it's like, okay, now that's not actually physics. But it's really interesting. All right, huh? Okay.
Stay with us a moment longer. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Hence the name, Infra-Materialism. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit certain extra-physical effects based on the amount of plasm generated by its citizens.
Yeah, so this isn't even Nielsen's theory, it's his followers.
Correct. Though certain particulars of the theory are commonly attributed to Nielsen himself, the evidentiary basis of those attributions has always been a point of contention between infra-materialists and their critics.
Yeah, in other words, where's the proof? Where's the evidence that this happens, right? These people are saying that if enough people just believe in communism, it will come true?
The actual theory is highly technical, but for the purposes of this brief look, TM, that's a fine working definition of the concept. That's because this is absolute idiocy, not even worth engaging with.
Right? Okay. Let's hear about the extra physical stuff.
Infra-materialists divide the extra-physical effects of the revolutionary state by the level of plasm required to achieve them. At the lowest, or first level, revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essential properties.
Yeah, this sounds like that business with the turnips.
Precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields. It may also influence the physiology of revolutionaries themselves.
I love this idea that if you just believe in communism enough, you'll grow more turnips. Like, it's so. On the one hand, it's so random, right? But on the other hand, it's like people need to eat. And if your political system doesn't allow people to grow enough food and then they starve, like that's a bad outcome. So you can see kind of the wishful thinking here. Like, oh, if we just believe in this enough, there will be plenty of food.
It's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on some communist males.
Can either stroke my bare chin or don't. It's embarrassing. I definitely. Like, when is embarrassing stopped, Harry?
Your hand feels clammy against your bare chin. You wipe it along the back of the book and keep reading.
Okay.
Of course, infra-materialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. In fact, reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time.
Like, one, that is ridiculous. And two, that doesn't even sound fun. Oh my god. 8 hours. That's work.
There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly. No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. Hyperproductive vegetables and ultra-horny communards are fine. But this theory hasn't quite gotten strange enough for you. And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of infra-materialism, enough to carry on a basic conversation at least. But if you'd like to go even deeper into some of the more speculative aspects of the theory, you could always read further.
I love the idea that there are even more speculative aspects.
Of course you want to go deeper. What else are you here for?
Indeed.
The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket.
We'll keep
You
reading.
flip forward a few pages until you come upon a chapter titled Mental Projection and Transference. When a community has achieved a sufficiently high degree of revolutionary fervor, infra-materialists believe that second-level effects may be observed. At this second level, certain hyper-revolutionary individuals may even develop the ability to extend their thoughts into material space and vice versa.
So, communists can read minds?
According to infra-materialist theory, yes. Under suitably revolutionary conditions, that is.
Of course.
It's become something of a folk legend that during their final meeting, Nielsen and Mazov didn't speak a single word, preferring to sit in silence with their chamomile tea, reading one another's thoughts.
That's probably not what happened.
One of the minor tragedies of the late revolutionary period is that few reliable accounts survive. Much of what we know of the communards' activities during this period come from memoirs and second-hand accounts, some only written down decades after the fact, and of dubious authenticity.
Why do these effects only work for hyper-revolutionary communists? See, that's what I think is interesting. Why this kind of political fervor and not other kinds?
Because plasm has never been directly observed, the exact mechanism behind these effects remains entirely speculative.
Uh-huh.
In other words, there's no evidence that any of this mind-reading stuff is real.
Yeah, if there's no evidence, how can the theory be true?
Most infra-materialists would argue that the inability of skeptics to detect plasm is simply evidence of their own insufficient revolutionary enthusiasm. There you have it, a perfectly unfalsifiable loop. The theory is impossible to disprove on its own grounds.
Which means it's not scientific.
Meaning, it's hardly a theory at all.
Exactly.
This should be more than enough for a stimulating discussion. That said, if you're still yearning for more,
Of course. Finish the book.
You breeze through the next several sections until you arrive at the final chapter, titled A Communism Above Reality. When a society's revolutionary fervor reaches the third and highest level, infra-materialist theoreticians have postulated that the laws of physics cease to be laws.
Cease to be laws. What do they become then? Right? Like, this is always interesting to me. Like, what can it even mean for the laws of physics to cease to be laws? Because even in the most wild conditions in our actual universe, like approaching a black hole or something, it's still physics that governs what happens, even if it's bizarre. Anyways.
More like suggestions, according to some of the SRV's leading infra-materialists. Of course, it's impossible to say what exactly happens under these conditions. No known society has ever achieved the levels of revolutionary enthusiasm the theory seems to require. Some infra-materialists have even argued that it might require more plasm than humanity alone may be capable of producing.
Wait, are there non-human sources of plasma?
In the SRV, there have been attempts to organize certain species of aquatic mammals, as well as a few of the higher corvids.
I love this idea. Communist crows.
But, as of this writing, only human beings have demonstrated the intellectual capacity for revolutionary communism.
Has anyone ever gotten close to reaching the third level?
There are numerous stories from Samara involving bandits or fascist mercenaries being levitated by farmers from the most ideologically advanced communes. Of course, few of these incidents have ever been rigorously investigated or substantiated.
Of course.
The form of these stories also recalls several well-known Samoan folk tales. In particular, the one commonly known as Clever Oleg and the Flying Magistrate.
Yeah, but like, I feel like if you got like mind reading or telekinetic powers just by being sufficiently communist, that would actually be a pretty good selling point. I'm not gonna lie.
Among known attempts to channel third level capabilities, the most well documented is the curious case of Coalition warship Debutante.
Yeah, I've got to know what that's about.
It concerns an interesting series of events that took place during the invasion of Revachol. As Coalition forces made landfall, a cadre of Nielsen's most fervent acolytes attempted to compress a Coalition aerostatic with their collective will. According to Communard law, these acolytes positioned themselves at the top of a redoubt just over the bay of Revachol. From that vantage, they proceeded to visualize pinching Coalition warship Debutante between their fingers, a gesture believed to assist in the extra-physical materialization of their thoughts.
I mean, I guess it's pretty ballsy to take on a warship with your brain and communist fervor. Did it work?
The acolytes, along with the redoubt, were vaporized in an artillery strike before the process could be completed.
Yeah. Whoops.
It's been said, though, that in the weeks following the battle, the captain of the Debutante noted an increase in incidents of crewmen striking their heads on unexpectedly low bulkheads.
I love that this is the evidence. Like, okay, it's been said, and also, like, you could measure the height of the bulkheads and then you would know if they... Anyways.
Of course, colorful anecdotes only scratch the surface of what infra-materialists believe may be possible in a truly third-level society.
What would a third-level society even look like?
Some have theorized that such a society would be fundamentally unrecognizable, lacking many of the institutions we typically take for granted in advanced societies, including organized governments, financial institutions, and law enforcement. Did that book just say there's no place for you in this future?
Yep. Oh well.
Others have argued that people living under third-level conditions will be immune to such infirmities as hunger, disease, and mental illness.
It's all just such wishful thinking.
In some of his later writings, Nielsen himself speculated about the potential for an extra-physical architecture that disregards the laws of bourgeois physics and instead relies on the revolutionary faith of the people for structural integrity.
Like, this whole theory, and I said this the first time I read through the book, in the footage that was lost, it feels like these people are trying to kind of wishful thinking their way into a better society instead of thinking about the actual work that would have to be done to improve society. Like, all we have to do is make people think the right way, and then magically it will be utopian. And it's like, it doesn't work that way, but like, these theories are easier to construct and to make than doing the actual work. Anyways, this seems like a bad theory to design buildings.
Nielsen called it the highest expression of communist principles, a society whose literal foundation is the faith of its people. On the following page, you come across a few black and white reproductions from Nielsen's own notebooks. One sketch depicts a government ministry shaped like a great inverted pyramid, a hectare in width at the top, balanced atop foundations the size of common apartments. Another depicts a leaning tower wrapped in a dramatic helix. The caption beneath it reads, "The Tower of History." Something about that tower looks awfully familiar. Could it be that's what the students were trying to recreate with the matchboxes?
I think that's so interesting. They're trying to test their own plasm. What if the people stop believing and the buildings collapse?
In the corner of one of the reproduced notebook pages, you can make out the following words, written in Nielsen's distinctive slashing script. A state that has lost the faith of its people has forfeited the right to exist.
Alright, plausible enough. There's something beautiful about the idea. Is there any more?
There is no more. You've reached the outer theoretical limits of communism, and in less than 200 pages. If you'd like to read further, may we recommend a brief look at Occidental architecture?
I'll put the book away. Okay, so now I think I'm ready to, yeah, go meet them. And I think that was after 2200. Okay. I also need to find the murder weapon. I don't know if that's gonna happen before I confront Ruby. If she is the murderer, it would be nice to have that, for sure. Huh. Not really sure where I'm going or what I'm doing at this point. Let's go back to the fishing village. I haven't talked to everybody there. And also, I think my original idea with the forging was to do it in my shack. Now I just can't remember if I attempted it and it didn't work or what. Let me try this again. I don't know if it'll work because Kim's here. Or does he? Oh, Kim doesn't come in with me. Okay. I guess that's kind of good to know. But if I interact with this here...
out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period. And the youth center cuts the youth center.
And that's it. I don't understand why I don't have an option to forge it. I thought they said that I would. But I don't. It's so frustrating. Because that feels like the thing I'm really stuck on now. Before, like, the thing that I need before I can confront Ruby. Otherwise, I don't know how this is going to happen, but it says it may take a while. No clue what's going on with this. This I have to wait till later in the day. And this I need to figure out how to forge, I thought, or keep talking to people. Find a working firearm. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. There were somewhere around here was the group of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, I think. Weren't they around here somewhere? Yeah. Maybe one of these guys can sign. Or has something new for me. I'm unconvinced.
The legend! He's back. And thirsty. I got smokes and piss and a little speed to spice things up.
Alright. Well, I can't afford the things that would probably be more useful for me.
Sunset.
Oh! I can, ask about Ruby. Oh! Hey, they might be able to sign for me. Okay, so first, have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
Oh, right. I forgot about his
He
story.
really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Alright, could you and your pals sign this document?
What's it about? I'll let my hand address the situation.
He waves his hand apathetically.
Maybe you've heard. I used to be a very successful businessman. I've signed more than a few lease forms or whatever the fuck they were. Anyone's got a pen? The pro's gonna do it.
Yes, I have this green ape one. Lend him your pen.
All right.
He grabs the pen and paper from your hand and very carefully scribbles on the dotted line next to Lillian Carter. Idiot doom spiral. Alright, can I have the pen back too?
Don't know if I've mentioned it, but I used to be a businessman. And as a businessman, I am going to keep the pen. For my trouble.
He nods confidently. You know what? It's worth it.
No, that was my favorite thing of all the things you have.
Oh.
This had better be worth losing the pen for.
I hope so.
My favorite was the gun he lost.
Oh god, sorry, hand-eye coordination. That's it then. The deed is done.
Glad to have been of assistance. After all this time, I feel like I've made a difference.
He gives you a thumbs up, and the envelope also.
Don't call Abigail.
The drunk in the pipe snorts and takes a swig from his bottle. The bottle is empty.
Thank you for your help. Should we go and mail this? I think I saw a mailbox on the plaza.
Yep. Let's do it. Okay. Because as far as I can tell, this is the only way I have to get my gun back. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm a little sad about losing my pen. I suppose if I had convinced the washerwoman, I wouldn't have lost my pen, but that's okay. It is what it is. Okay, there was the mailbox here.
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox for something.
Yes, for sending mail.
Alright, drop the white mailbox, or the white envelope into the
You
mailbox.
drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug, Everard. You know he's going to play you somehow.
Right, because I think this means that the thing he wants won't go through, because it's not the real signature.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Exactly. Alright, that is now the plan. Let's go back to Everard. It is in the mail. Okay. think that means going this way. I'm like, I vaguely remember how to get to Everard. Okay. Oh, are there any coins or anything to collect over here? I don't think so, not since I was here the last time. Alright. Come on, Harry. Do not go down these stairs. What? Is it different? Oh, it's these stairs, maybe. Okay. Navigating this whole place is something. Up here. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna just do a little quick save, just in case things go horribly, horribly wrong. But I'm mildly optimistic. I got my letter in, so just don't mention it, Harry.
Mr. Dubois, every worker...
He leans forward, waiting for you to complete his sentence. A member of the board?
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart, too. How can I help you today?
It's done. I mailed the signatures you asked me to mail.
The golden boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this.
He claps his hands together like a child who's just been offered cotton candy.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now.
You know. Of course you can, of course you can.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
All right.
Judging from how happy he is, it looks like you did it. He doesn't appear to suspect trickery. Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in.
Excellent.
You don't know his full plan. Perhaps he expected trickery. Perhaps the signatures weren't important. The point is, do not think you're ahead of him.
Interesting. The signatures I got. You know, I'll come back to that. I assume I'll be able to deal with these things. Primarily, can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
Uh-huh. Fine. Where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
An old woman?
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy?
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway...
He smiles and shakes his head in wonderment.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
I'm still worried.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debardeurs Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Is this the woman who was sweeping in the apartments? She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
He smiles.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore.
Oh,
You're
geez.
gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
That's interesting.
There it is again. The pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I don't remember Roy saying this. Roy must be the pawn shop guy.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
A smile flickers in the corner of his mouth. Can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
Interesting. So I have two things to do tonight. The meeting and the gun. Okay, the fish market on the coast on the boardwalk, past the fishing village. That might be where the phone is, give or take. Okay.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
That's good to know. I don't know how late the communists stay up, but they'll be back another night, so I will try to deal with this first, I think.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Indeed. Alright, did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
Uh-huh.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
Yeah, they're trained military people. Aren't you afraid for your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that.
He pauses to rub his chin.
We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
I'm unconvinced, Everard.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her asshole. She has no chance.
Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry.
Oh, right.
Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
He looks at the swordfish clock and nods. Interesting. Oh, I've got a lot more to follow up on. Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. The guy, huh?
How do you know it's a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
He does not. How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
He replies like a whip.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
How are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
Yeah, Phew, clients will leave en masse. Will they, though? I mean, like, probably, but if they also need to send stuff, like transport stuff, I don't know. Everything?
We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
Uh-huh. What kinds of bold, new, exotic revenue streams are we talking about?
Haven't you seen the crates outside, Harry? There's all sorts of fun stuff inside them. I mean, heck, this one has you and the lieutenant, me, and my novelty swordfish clock.
He pushes up his glasses as he laughs.
Did he just deflate slightly? Was there something he wanted you to ask about? Maybe you should come back if you learn something relevant and ask again.
Huh.
You should definitely come back here and ask again if you learn more about the Union's dealings. There's something he's not telling you.
Okay. And that's something I'd want to do before I confront Ruby, I suspect. Okay. The signatures I got.
Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, if the construction noise and limited street access makes some people consider moving, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people can finally enjoy a significant uptick in quality of life. I'm talking real affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
The lieutenant says grimly.
You were there. You saw the place. A wasteland. There's nothing left. But mark my words, officers. We are going to reset it.
He slams his fist on the table, causing some of the coffee to spill.
Reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing.
A youth center supermarket church complex, huh?
Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
I mean, that would probably be good, but like, youth supermarket church complex? You really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the center, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
I mean, you can kind of see where he's coming from.
The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. But will there be giant statues of the Clear brothers towering above it all?
Right.
Joyce knew he was up to something.
Wait, but will you erect a statue to yourself?
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, workers on welfare, and landowners in Azon hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
Alright, I mean, like, I don't trust him. But at least he talks about good things.
Oh, I do, Harry. I really do. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier with that boat of yours. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace.
Alright, that's it.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Suddenly there's sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
Huh. Oh, I guess I can tell him about this. I made it even stronger.
I don't know what that means, Harry, but I love it. I love your initiative. Knowing you're out there keeping things running lets me focus on the big picture stuff. Don't even tell me what was going on. Alcoholic brew, stronger, stopped it, strike. I'm just gonna let you surprise me, Harry.
Okay. We'll talk again later, Everard. Let's see. Confront the pigs and get your gun back. That is the plan. Okay. I am making some real progress, but I am actually out of time, so I'm gonna have to call that good today, and I will catch you all more the next time. Bye!